moving along. So we are already in the last item of our agenda today, and that is protocol. You already know that one because you already have it in your handouts. In protocol, we have identified several parts. Most of them you know. Confidentiality is one of them. We have talked about it already, and this is a part of our Code of Professional Responsibility, which is in GR 11.2, and in particular is in Canon number 5. We talked a little bit about etiquette, and you have to keep in mind that even when you're working remotely, the attire is important. If you have to appear on the screen, make sure that you look professional. And as we mentioned before, provide your services from a quiet area with no disrupting noises. Address the parties in a formal manner at all times, and just keep in mind that they're not your friends. Everything that applies for in-person events is also applicable when working remotely. Prepare yourself and have everything ready. Do not wait to open a glossary when you hear a difficult word. Just have it opened ahead of time. Like Claudia was saying, she had her glossary open so she can look at it at a glance, basically. If you have to do a site translation, please have the document also open or available or printed out. And also would be advisable for you to review that well ahead of time, so you don't have to have extra stress. And last but not least, if you're working in a conference or if you're working with your colleague in a team, make sure you practice ahead of time how to switch off smoothly. That is very important as well. As a little reminder, please show up in time, be ready, appear and conduct yourself in a professional manner. If you know you may forget the time, set up a reminder. Try to arrive at least 15 minutes ahead of time so you can get ready, check the audio, check the video, if anything, or troubleshoot any other difficulties like logging in or the browser doesn't work, or anything. You never know what may happen. If you just appear on time, you are already late. You will not have the time to get ready. And in the event that you are really running late for that event, inform the parties. Constantly communicate with them so they are at ease and they know when you're going to appear. Last but not least, when you log in or when you call into a remote event, introduce yourself briefly, as we mentioned before, and just simply, like an example, as I said before, I always introduce myself like a Spanish interpreter, Luisa Gracia. That would be more than enough. Also, as a reminder, and this is pretty obvious, but some people tend to forget, do not interpret when you are eating, when you are cooking, or using the restroom, because, you know, as unfortunately, everybody can hear everything. Or even when you're watching TV, we don't need any background noise, or when you're hiking, that's not the appropriate place. You can maybe fall off a cliff, and that will not be advisable. And of course, do not interpret when you're driving, because you can have an accident, and that would be very dramatic. And to finish, I would like to suggest some ideas to improve. Think about how difficult it is already in real life to understand and be understood. So at this time, it's advisable to kind of think a little bit on how you can improve yourself. You can attend classes on accent reduction, pronunciation, enunciation, and of course, whenever you go to a remote event, make sure you have prepared yourself and you have documented yourself, so that way you can provide a very high quality service and very professional. Right now, we're gonna have a word of advice courtesy of Claudia Azar.
Thank you, Luisa. Your information was super useful. And we really hope that what we shared with you today is good for you. I would like just to remind you that we have to embrace technology. Technology will not take our work away. It is just going to help us do it and deliver it in different ways. So embrace it, accept it. Again, you don't have to go to the store and buy everything at once, but little by little, create your virtual office in a way that will help you. Don't be afraid of changes. And also, remember that if you feel discouraged because one of your meetings was a flop and you did horrible, just stand up and keep going. Because every time there's no worse judge than ourselves. And if you just say, hey, the next year is going to be better, learn from the mistakes you made in the previous one and use that knowledge for the next one. And little by little, you're going to become an expert and you will go to your virtual office feeling like you're just going to the next courthouse. So please try to do your best. I know that right now there are a lot of webinars about remote interpretation. They are all very useful. And I think that if you're not feel very sure about them, listen to them, listen to all your colleagues nationwide. It is doable, and I'm sure you're going to do a great job. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudia. And I think this is all from Claudia and myself. I hope this information was useful for you. You can review the materials that were provided, and I believe you will find very interesting and useful information. Thank you, and have a wonderful day.